Hi, I'm KillCam. I'm going to show you how to capture runways fast in War Thunder. Alright, War Thunderers, a question I'm sometimes asked is, how do you capture the runway so fast and easy, KillCam? I have to go so slow to do it. Well, it's not that hard really. I'm going to show you how I do it anyway. First thing you do, if you want to do fast runway caps, you go into your menu and click on Controls. Go to the Instructor tab and set Auto Restricts control of the airplane near the ground to No. Now, it isn't important as the first option there, but you probably want to set your auto control of landing gear to No as well, if only because there are rare situations where you might not want to retract your gear, so you might want to keep that under your control. Most important thing though is that top option. If you leave that on, then I don't know what you're doing. I can't help you. You'll most likely have to land the plane so slowly that even if you manage to touch the wheels to the ground, you will be shot down. To learn how to capture runways fast, practice in a safe environment. Test flight mode is perfect for this. Fly around in there and make as many attempts at landing as you want with the benefit of no one shooting at you. What you'll do is head for the runway fast and drop your landing gear. Gently pitch your plane so it descends at a controlled rate and that your wheels touch the ground, but not so hard that your gear breaks or at an angle so steep that your propeller hits the ground. Try to touch down as early as you can, even before the runway if possible. Practice rolling on the ground and keeping your plane steady. Pull up and retract your gear at the end of the runway. In a real match, you take off as soon as you capture the runway, but this is practice, and you want to get a feel for rolling on the ground fast. Congratulations! You've made your first cap of a runway in practice. Big deal. When you're doing this for real, bullets will be hitting your plane, bombs will be exploding on the runway, and enemy planes will be diving at you. Practice this again and again until you are getting it right 9 times out of 10. Then, you'll be able to pull this off in a real domination match without having to think much about it. When you're practicing, pick a plane with a tail dragger configuration for landing gear. If you can do this in a tail dragger, capping in a plane with a nose wheel is as easy as it gets. The nose wheel prevents your prop hitting the ground, so all you need to worry about is not hitting the ground too hard. If for whatever reason you feel you're coming in way too fast for you to control, feel free to drop the landing flaps to help slow you down and give you finer control of the plane. You'll get a feel for it the more you do this in real matches. Enough practice though, let's see some runway captures in live action. Here we see the start of a domination match. I'm in an Italian MC-202 and I want runway B. You don't always get the luxury of flying straight at a runway. Use the last second turn to steady your plane and align with the path you want to take over the ground. Notice here, I don't align fully with the runway. There's no rule that says you have to land perfectly straight down the length of it. You can even land sideways across the runway if you can find enough space to roll for the capture. Capping a runway sideways often surprises newer players who've never seen it before and weren't aware that it could be done. Usually while rolling, you want to have WEP engaged. Here though, I'm not in immediate danger, so I save my WEP for when I take off again to turn and engage the approaching enemy. Here the red team decapped runway B, setting it to neutral. I came around and pitched down to take it back for blue. Without having to fight the flight instructor, I keep most of my indicated airspeed so that when I lift off again, I'm not near stalling. I can WEP and engage the enemy with a minimal speed disadvantage. This time a yak in a game start situation just like the MC-202. Again, take note, I don't need to roll on the runway. I pick a path to clear trees and structures, capping the runway before I technically even reach it. This might seem like a rehash, but make special note of the slight dip in the ground by the tents. Take special care of ground features like that, as rolling over ground that changes elevation can crash your plane. Whenever doing an off-runway capture, pay attention to elevation or even something like railroad tracks. Land beyond them, not in front of terrain features to avoid disaster. Last, I wanted to show you a time where I felt it necessary to utilize landing flaps. I was doing over 500 kph, but the runway is crowded with friendlies and an enemy vehicle that needs to be taken out. By doing that, I have good control and avoid colliding with a friendly. When the runway is capped, I am then able to take out the armored car. Hopefully you've learned a little something about runway capping by watching this video. If so and you're not already a subscriber, click on the button below. I'm KillCam, and I wish all of you good hunting.